Anywho, Nathan Orman scored his first career win at Chicagoland today. His Tropicana 400 secured by a 15-car pileup down the back straightaway in the early going on lap number 7. Hi, welcome to the Nathan Orman is drinking a lot of orange juice edition of Inside PCSRA. Daniel Voles here in our PCSRA studios. 42 drivers battling for 400 miles at the Chicagoland Speedway, and see how this will be, how this will go here today. We want to welcome to the program Zachary Taylor, driver of the M&M's Crispy Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Taylor, welcome. Taylor, started, I think, 32nd or so. You finished 15th. So how would you describe your day from Chicagoland? Yeah, definitely a good result after it's been a struggle. Me got involved in a wreck, but I felt like we had a good car, and we ended up finishing 20th. So, you know, haven't been running good, but it was an okay result so far. Okay, here are the finishing results from today's Tropicana 400 that just got done premiering. If you want to know where your favorite driver finished after that happened. Nathan Orman, his first career win and first of 2021. Championship leader Courtney Lynn finished out of the race in 36th place. Nice top 5 run for Emily Elizabeth and Sally Foster. Reagan Whitlock, nice return. Nice top 10 run for Ildo Sofika so far. As we're going to talk about a lot of things with Zachary Taylor until we get Nathan Orman out of victory lane and up here into the deal. Seems though, Taylor, we saw a 15-car wreck, you know, started at the front of the field. As a driver, is there anything you can do to avoid something like that? I mean, lap 7, 15 cars involved, took out a bunch of drivers, including our very own Cody Smart. Yeah. Orman was the only one on the lead lap. We had 12 drivers finish the race. 30 drivers did not finish the race. Yikes. That's a new record for Chicagoland Speedway, may I remind you. Yeah. I don't think, I mean, we had 7 cautions, which I don't know how many cautions we had back then. I think we had like 7 or 8 in our inaugural race in 2011. Around that area, so that's a typical Chicagoland race for y'all, even though we did have a very long green flag run to the end after a lot of things happened, but Greg Rutt sadly had his problem in the early going. He couldn't recover, and, well, he ended up involved in one of the wrecks, so, yeah. 7 cautions, which is pretty usual. Would you agree 7 cautions is pretty usual compared to, as we have also, we'll talk to Nathan Orman in just a second. 7 cautions, do you think that's a kind of typical Chicagoland race, Taylor? Yeah. Oh, I got a good trivia question you guys want to answer, so we're going to do that. We also want to welcome Nathan Orman, driver of the Mountain Dew Chevrolet for Nathan Orman Motorsports, Mr. Tropicana 400 winner. Yeah, you actually used the same car you had at Vegas, so that might have just helped you at all, so. Hi, Great Lakes. Okay, here's a little stat you guys need to hear. Okay, this is pretty funny. Thanks to Nathan Orman, Chevrolet swept the weekend at Chicagoland. You want to know who the other two winners are? Yeah, Kyle Langland and our very own Roadrunner, who got his first career win this weekend. And here's something special for Kyle Langland. That's a perfect timing to get your first career win at your home track, may I remind you. So, at least World NOS Racing got a win out of this day, and sadly Great Lakes was involved in that that 15 car wreck. Technically it was like 25 cars involved. It was actually the biggest wreck we've had of the season. So yeah. Okay, so here's a little trivia question you guys need to answer. Nathan Orman became the second autistic driver to go to victory lane in a PCSRA race. Can you name the other driver who was an autistic driver who went to victory lane? Yep. Yep, I won at Ricky Raceway. How about that? And with Nathan Orman's win and where he's at in points, Nathan Orman has one of those 20 spots for the playoffs. And here's something funny I want to point out. Here's something interesting. We have about now 14 or so drivers who have a win that are not only outside the top 35, but also outside the top 30 in points. Yeah. Here's something funny. We have more first-time winners than NASCAR. Shocker. I've lost count how many first-time winners we've had. We've had so many first-time winners, I can't even keep track. Yes. Orman becomes the second autistic driver to go to victory lane. Yours truly was the other. I did it last season. Even though I did it with a different manufacturer, but you get the point. World NOS Racing, I believe that is our, if I can think off the, let me think. Ben Erickson went to victory lane, Annie Thomas went to victory lane, Betty Johnson. World NOS Racing, that's their fourth time World NOS Racing's gone to victory lane this season. Kyle Langland's in the All-Star race next season, so was Nathan Orman. Ormy became, I want to say, let me think. Abigail's went to victory lane. All but two of Nathan Orman Motorsports' cars have gone to victory lane this season. And where Nathan Orman is situated in points, I don't think it's going to be enough for Nathan Orman to fall outside the top 30. As long as he builds that momentum, we'll be in good shape. But let me tell you something. That Chicagoland race shook the points up dramatically because Nathan Orman's now fourth in the Rookie of the Year standings after the top three didn't score any points, sadly. In the Drivers' Championship, Nathan Orman is almost in the top 10 in points, 11 to be exact. Hi, Sean. You can go away, Scam. I don't want you in the way. Poor Sean Art. Started 18th, got involved in somebody else's mess, got involved in that 15-car big one on lap 7. Which, let's just say Courtney Lynn just got tight on James Qualls. And sadly, 15 or so, I counted at least 20, I counted at least half the field got some damage. But 15 cars dropped out of the race, so most for a first caution. So, Yeah, Courtney Lynn was the points leader going in. She did not keep the points lead, sadly. Frida Suarez, who, how on earth she survived the race, I'll never know. Got a top 10, and she took the points lead from Courtney Lynn. But Alexandria Van Dam remained second in points, so. And now it's a Chevy 1-2-3 in the Drivers' Championship. Sean is still in the top 15 in points, so. As far as that's concerned. Lisa Gonzalez, 41st place finish. That's not going to help her get in the top 30 in points, and she's now the driver on the bubble. She fell to 35th in the standings after last night's race. So, yeah. I bet Courtney Lynn was probably disgusted with herself and said, dag nabbit. Oh, and I want to correct Cody on something from Saturday. Adam Alexander did not say the 5-letter word, but I have to tell Cody something. I have a dumb question. Who's Adam Alexander? I know Adam Alexander, but Adam Alexander? He did in the President's Chat, if you didn't notice that, Taylor. Yep. So now you want to let's talk about our next race, because this next race we're going to is probably going to be one of the greatest. Martinsville. We are going Martinsville racing. Oh, you gotta love short track racing at Martinsville. Beautiful, right by the Gazellas, the Martinsville hot dogs. What do you guys think we're gonna see at Martinsville for our 17th race of the season? You know what we say, Ormy? Short track racing, short track tempers. What about you, Mr. Taylor? What do you think we'll see at Martinsville? Yeah, Martinsville, we love Martinsville. We've talked about it on Triple P. We've talked about it, anything. If you cannot... And guess what? Aerodynamics don't mean squat as far as a short track is concerned. And if what we saw at Bristol was any indication, how, like Sean did at Bristol and Richmond, and it's our third short track race of 6, so... But this time with a 42 car field, not division stuff, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So the question is, can Sean Art go 2 out of 3 on short tracks? Because Sean Art has a good chance to sweep Bristol when we go back to Bristol later in the season. Yeah, that will be interesting. I won't be racing Martinsville this weekend, so, because, like I said, I'm on a part-time schedule, just so you all know. Yeah, I'm not, quote-unquote, R-wording my own championship series, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean, okay? You know what word I was going to say, but you know what I mean. And, Sean said his favorite line. Yes. Oh, dagnabbit. That was not going the right way. No, you get back in there. I was trying to do this. Okay, that's still hot. So. Taylor. Okay, what are you having? Says Taylor. Just a little off deal. I may or may not be having Panera Bread mac and cheese that I'm not sharing. Yeah. Martinsville will be really fun. It's going to be exciting, and, Should be interesting. Hey, Choke Fake Cowgirls, lost. Thank God for that. The Beavers. Hey, that's ridiculous. I did not expect freaking Oral Roberts to be goddamn Florida. Jesus Christ. Dude, I went to their campus my freshman year in high school for a state championship game. I've seen their freaking campus. It's amazing. Yay, now the Big Ten's gonna say the R word. Ah, interesting. We'll talk about that on the Triple P show, so yeah. Yeah. So, should be a lot of fun if you ask me at Martinsville, which by the way brings up to our this week's upcoming events. Martinsville will take place pretty soon. We'll have, of course, the qualifiers, the qualifying race, and the main event. Should be exciting. I'll try to do it this weekend, so that'll be fun. Triple P is going to be tomorrow. Yep, we're going to recap Atlanta, which in my opinion, Atlanta wasn't entertaining. Hey, at least Chicagoland was more entertaining than Atlanta. Let's get that right. So. Okay, you know Division 1, Division 2 had combined 13 cautions. All of them were wreckfest. It was like a... Let's see. If you, you want to know how many cautions we had combined the 3 races this weekend at Chicagoland? Take a guess. Try 20. Combined the 3 races we had, 20 yellows. That's almost like Bristol. Let's be fair. You know, Chicagoland, we normally don't expect Crash Fest at Chicagoland. Easy for me to say. But in NR, it's typical. It was a typical Chicagoland race, which was good. You know, I thought fuel mileage was going to play a factor. Didn't happen, which that's too bad. But we'll see what happens next year at Chicagoland. You know, for Rachel Wynn, you know, as far as that 71 team's been struggling this season, you know, this is, like I said, her final race at Chicagoland, you know, I bet there was probably a lot of emotions coming out from her, if you ask me. But I know she's gonna have fun for the rest of the season. There's gonna be a special ceremony that will happen come season finale time. But Martinsville is next. I believe this is our first Reese's Pro Series race at Martinsville, if I'm not mistaken. So, somebody's going to try to win a grandfather clock this coming weekend. So, hope you'll join us for that and all that. So, should be fun. Any final thoughts do you guys have from Chicagoland? And I know Ormy wants to say final thoughts because I know he's going to talk about his team. Your huggable drivers. And a special reason to watch Not Clothed Cody Smart run on the track. Not accepted if some scientist does anything to be on the stream or in the president's chat. And Taylor will make memes of Not Clothed Cody. Taylor, Wow! What about you, Taylor? Your final thoughts? Okay, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna put an over-under and we'll predict who's right and who's not. Over-under for Martinsville, I'm gonna predict 20 cautions. The over-under deal, I will set it at 20. Will we be over or will we be under, folks? Okay, Toyland is not part of the over-under, Taylor. What about you, Orman? Over-under, I set it at 20. Okay, Sean said under. What'd you say, Orman? Cody said the wrong Danny, by the way. Not accepted if he tries anything. I'm gonna say probably over. Because you know how Martinsville is always a wreck fest. So. But it's going to be fun nevertheless, so. That's gonna do it, my friends, for today's episode of Inside PCSRA. Of course, congratulations, Nathan Orman. Guess what Nathan Orman's bonus prize is? He gets to be on our thumbnail for Triple P tomorrow. 2 weeks in a row, we'll have a Nathan Orman Motorsports car on the thumbnail for Triple P. Yep. What's next? Next week, we're going to have Zachary Taylor's face on Triple P next week. Not, except if you try anything. then Cody will start laughing. I already saw that. No, I think you would smack my son first because my son told me that just before we came on the air. So that would be son abuse you just committed, Taylor. Thanks for joining us here on Inside PCSRA presented by Toyota. For Taylor, for Ormy, for myself, that is your lot. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We also have a doubleheader tomorrow. We also have to record. We're going to record the IMSA podcast in a little bit. So, see you then, everybody. Till then, ta-ta.